Now that you know how to draw a box, we can begin modifying it to create a variety of other shapes. For example, we'll start by drawing a box using the steps laid out in the previous lessons. Now, suppose you want to cut this box diagonally to create a triangular prism. First, we would draw a diagonal cut line on the front plane of the box. Then draw the same cut line on the back plane. And the depth lines will connect the front and back plane. We can erase the extra lines so the shape can read better. Now, let's say we wanted to modify this even further by slicing off the top. I'll put a horizontal cut line on the front plane. Now we want to put the same cut line on the back plane. But the problem is, because of perspective, we don't know exactly where that cut line should go. So to find out, we'll connect the two front corners to the vanishing point. That will give us the depth lines. And the point where the depth lines intersect with the back edge is where the rear cut line will be. Now we can shade in the top plane to make it even clearer. Next, let's say we want to slice off the other tip of the prism as well. Again, we'll draw a vertical cut line onto the front plane. Connect the two corners that were just created to the vanishing point to create the depth lines. And the point where the depth lines intersect with the back edge is where the rear cut line will be. And that's our shape. I'll clean it up with this blue pencil so it's easier to see. Try drawing this yourself to make sure you understand the process. By the way, if you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to check out the full Drawing Fundamentals course at mydrawingtutorials.com/basics. It's designed to teach a complete beginner all the basic skills they'll need to become successful at drawing. Okay, back to the lesson. Next, let's draw a pyramid shape. Once again, we'll begin by drawing a box. Next, we'll need to find the tip of the pyramid, which should be right at the center of this top plane. We can draw an X on the top plane to find the center. Then connect that point to the corners of the bottom plane. And that's our pyramid. Now, let's say we wanted to slice off the top of this pyramid. Again, we'll start with a horizontal cut line. Then connect the corners to the vanishing point. And where the depth lines intersect the back is where the last cut will be. Now we can shade in the top plane to make it even clearer. Again, let me clean this up. Here's another example. Let's put this box to the right of the vanishing point. Suppose we want to cut a chunk from the top right corner, and we want this chunk to be exactly 1/4 of the shape. So we can use the X method to find the center. Then we'll draw the cut line to remove exactly 1/4 of the front plane. Connect the two corners that were just created to the vanishing point. Now, this cut has created a lot of new corners and planes. But because the box is positioned to the right of the viewer, when we connect the corners back to the vanishing point, only this part will be visible. This gives you a good idea of how overlapping lines can create three-dimensionality in a drawing. Next, let's slice off a bit from this top left corner. Connect the corners back to the vanishing point. And put in the rear cut line. And that's our shape. This one actually looks a bit like a simplified piano. So you can see how we can carve into simple boxes to create all kinds of furnitures and objects. Let's do another example with the box above the horizon line. Once again, we'll cut out a small square chunk from the corner, similar to the last example, but this time we'll see how the change in angle causes it to appear differently. Connect the corners to the vanishing point. And there's the newly created surface. We'll also slice off the top left corner, but this time, because of the position of the box, we won't be able to see into the cut. And for the last example, let's put the square cut on the bottom left corner. Connect the corners to the vanishing point. These extra lines can be a bit confusing, so let me erase some of them. Okay, and the point where the depth lines intersect with the backplane is where we'll put the rear cut lines. And there's our shape. This time, because the cut is facing the viewer, we're able to see into the divot. Shade in the newly created surfaces. So that's how you can carve into a box to create an almost infinite variety of shapes. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and rewind and pause the video and draw along with all these shapes. Then explore a bunch of different modifications on your own. Do at least 5 examples. Try placing the box above and below the horizon line, to the left and to the right of the vanishing point, and see how this affects your perception of it. Okay, have fun with this exercise, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, make sure to check out the full Drawing Fundamentals course at mydrawingtutorials.com/basics. You'll get tons of additional lessons and step-by-step exercises and learn things like how to draw anything accurately from observation, how to construct and draw objects from your imagination, how to shade realistically, and a whole lot more. So if you're ready to improve your drawing skills, head over to mydrawingtutorials.com/basics or click the link below.